In the vast sweep of history, empires rise like titans, their power absolute, their wealth seemingly eternal. Rome, Spain, Britain, and even the modern United States, each a symbol of human ambition, ingenuity, and relentless drive. Yet, despite their might, all share a haunting, almost invisible pattern: the cycle of unbridled growth, hubris, and inevitable collapse. Imagine the streets of Rome in the late Republic. Senators in flowing togas argue over wealth amassed from conquered lands. Markets bustle with the clatter of coins, the cries of merchants, the hum of ambition. And yet, behind the marble facades and imperial grandeur, cracks form. Subtle, almost imperceptible at first. Political corruption festers. Debt grows unchecked. Citizens gamble on the promise of endless prosperity. What no one sees is that history has already scripted the downfall. Money was easy, power was intoxicating. Trust was universal, until suddenly it wasn't. And the question echoes across centuries. How does an empire so strong collapse over and over, following the same patterns, even when the lessons are written in the ruins of the past? Please stay with me because this video is definitely going to change the way you see money, like this video, if you want more stories that reveal the truth behind financial history. Before Spain's golden age, the Iberian Peninsula seemed destined for greatness. Silver flooded into Seville, wealth poured from the New World, and the crown expanded its influence across continents. The Spanish treasure fleets glistened with plunder, yet beneath the surface, the economy was unbalanced. Inflation soared, debt to foreign bankers mounted. The king spent faster than gold arrived. Citizens and nobles alike believed the empire invincible, but the warning signs were clear to those who looked. History teaches us that rising wealth is often a mirage when built on debt and speculation. Ambition blinds judgment, and yet every empire repeats the same mistake, thinking their reach exceeds all constraints. Britain's industrial age painted a similar story. The world marveled at the Royal Navy, sprawling colonies, and factories that turned coal into gold. Cities swelled, markets boomed, bankers and merchants celebrated endless growth. Yet, beneath the triumph, inequality widened. Financial speculation ran rampant, and a fragile dependency on global trade chains made the empire vulnerable. When crises emerged, war, market crashes, social upheaval, the shockwaves were devastating. Ambition had again outpaced prudence. Rome offers the earliest lesson, perhaps the clearest. Vast armies, conquered provinces, and enormous wealth could not prevent internal decay. Senators prioritized personal gain over the republic. Corruption and inflation undermined public confidence. When the final collapse came, it was not sudden but inevitable. A slow unraveling of a system built on expansion, exploitation, and fragile trust. Citizens fled, armies fragmented, and the empire fractured into pieces. Each of these empires in its own era followed the same rhythm: boom, overreach, collapse. Rome's overextended legions, Spain's unsustainable wealth from the Americas, Britain's dependency on global trade, and even today, America's mounting national debt and financial speculation, patterns repeat, often unnoticed until it's too late. The breaking point, often subtle, arrives like a thief in the night. Panic begins quietly, a bank defaults. A colony revolts, a market crashes. Trust evaporates faster than gold can be counted. Chaos spreads, citizens lose faith. Leaders scramble. Decisions are made in desperation rather than strategy. And suddenly, the empire, once unshakable, is brought to its knees. Spain's treasure fleets, once symbols of invincibility, became a burden. Costs of defense and administration exceeded revenue. Pirates and enemies exploited weaknesses. Inflation destabilized markets. By the end of the 17th century, Spain's dominance waned, leaving a cautionary tale of how excess wealth without structural stability is fragile. Britain, at its zenith in the 19th century, faced its own tests. The empire had global reach, but colonies demanded attention and resources. Speculative ventures, like railway investments and colonial trade monopolies, sometimes collapsed, shaking confidence. The pattern was evident. Extraordinary growth invites extraordinary risk. Hubris blinds even the most successful nations. Even today, the United States shows hints of the same pattern. Economic growth is lauded, markets boom, national debt climbs, and financial institutions grow increasingly interlinked and fragile. History whispers warnings, yet society often listens too late. The cycle, prosperity, overreach, panic, collapse, remains unbroken. What is remarkable is how these empires repeat the same mistakes despite centuries of experience. Power can be intoxicating, wealth misleading, and confidence dangerously blind. Greed, overextension, and speculation are constants, not variables. And the human cost is always immense. Lives lost, trust shattered, economies destabilized. Yet, in every collapse, there are lessons to extract. 1. Ambition unchecked by prudence invites disaster. 2. Wealth built without structural stability is fragile. 3. Trust, once lost, is the hardest currency to regain. Whether Rome, Spain, Britain, or the United States, these lessons transcend time, offering guidance to those willing to observe, understand, and apply them. History, therefore, is not just a record of the past. It is a mirror reflecting our present and foreshadowing our future. Every empire story is an invitation to scrutinize power, evaluate risk, and act wisely. The streets of Rome, the harbors of Seville, the factories of London, and the skyscrapers of New York each tell the same story. Nothing lasts forever when hubris precedes prudence. And so we must ask ourselves, are we aware of the cycles repeating around us today? Are modern economies resilient enough to withstand the same pressures that felled ancient and historical empires? Or are we blindly repeating patterns written in the ruins of the past? The pattern is clear, the lesson is timeless. And the question remains, will we heed it before the next collapse arrives?